right, in this essay, we are going to talk about Project 3, your next big essay for 5A. This is going to be an evaluation essay. So it is both a combination of they say and I say. We're going to continue looking at this idea of the conversations that are out there in the world. At this time, you're not just going to summarize what experts in the conversation are saying, as you did with the informational essay. This time, you're going to add in more of the I say. You're going to step into the conversation yourself. So you're going to identify and summarize different arguments within the conversation as we read a variety of articles that you'll find in the assignment. You're going to move from that they say into I say. So what conversation are we going to look at? We are going to look at conversations that circle around when we think about children as consumers. What sorts of things are we trying to sell to children? What sorts of things do we want them to buy? Why do we sell to them? How do we hope to create lifelong consumers? These are the kinds of things that you'll be looking at in the articles that are assigned as part of this module. If we can walk through them, I'll give you just a little bit of a brief. Sandra Calvert is looking at the overall concept of children and consumers as consumers. She's looking at how products push bad eating habits, how kids get roped into wanting to buy something because it's part of a whole product line. SpongeBob said to buy it, so woohoo! She looks at how different companies use what they call premiums, a toy in a cereal box, something like that, to get kids in. That's Sandra Calvert. George Drinka is looking at whether or not violent cartoons lead to violent kids and pulling together different sorts of research that talk about that issue. Kamitz and Turner are looking at what parents can do about gendered toys, the pink aisle and the blue aisle at Target. They really come at it from a point of view of it's not really all that bad. They really kind of say it's not so much what they play with as it is how they play with it. Then Nelson is looking at toys in terms of ethnic stereotypes and in what way do different products aimed at children perpetuate ethnic stereotypes. Emily Peck is looking at Barbie, kind of from the flip side again. She's saying that the reason that Barbie has gained something of a resurgence recently is because of a new awareness of openness to diversity. Katha Pollitt writes about the Smurfette principle. This is the oldest article that you have here, but it really is a classic in this area. If you remember the Smurfs, little blue guys, there's a million little blue guys, and there's one Smurfette. Kind of creepy if you think about it. She says that essentially there are lots of children's programs in which there are lots of boys and then there's one girl in there. She calls that the Smurfette principle. Then Michelle Ruiz looks at whether or not we should let children play with toy guns. Is this still acceptable? Should we take away all toy guns? And then Maria Weinstock looks at STEM toys, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics sorts of toys, and looks at the ads for those toys, which are still, while they have more girls in them now, they're not all just little white boys, there still is almost no diversity. So those are the articles that you're going to read as part of this module. You're going to take those articles and you're going to choose at least 2 of them, and you're going to use them to evaluate one product that is aimed at kids. You need to choose for this essay one product, whether that's a book, a toy, a movie, a TV show, a food item. You're going to choose one thing that's aimed at kids, and you're going to write a 3 to 4 page essay, double spaced, 12-point Times New Roman, all those good things. You're going to use at least 3 sources. 2 of them have to come from the list of sources that we just went through. As you can see, that does leave the door open. If you want to do some research and go find a 3rd source on your own, you certainly can do that. Or if you're not comfortable doing research, you can just stick with the ones that I have given you, and we'll do research next semester. It's totally up to you. For this essay, you will need a works cited page again, but we're going to add in text citations. We'll talk about what those are in a separate video. You are going to create this essay in which you evaluate, because it is an evaluation essay, that's the genre. You're going to evaluate one product aimed at kids. So examples might help pull this all together in your head. For example, if you wanted to talk about Mario Brothers video games, you could use Nelson to talk about the problem with nationality or ethnic stereotyping, because they are the stereotypical jovial Italian Americans. You could use Pollitt to talk about whether or not this is a case of the Smurfette principle. You have Princess Peach. There are a couple of other princesses. You could use Drinka to talk about violence, whether or not Mario Brothers is too violent for young children because of all the jumping on things to make them disappear. You can tell I really haven't played them much, right? Or he throws fireballs part of the time too. Those are violent things that might make this inappropriate for younger children. Weinstock, you could use Weinstock to talk about whether or not this universe is basically racist. If you get to the Super Smash Brothers and you look at the cast of characters there, I know a bunch of them aren't human beings at all, but the ones that are human, they're all pretty white. So you would then do a paragraph on each one of those, bring in sources as you choose, to then come down to your conclusion where you make a recommendation on Mario Brothers video games. Are these a good thing or a bad thing? What age children, etc. There's a wide variety of books, toys, movies, products. You could talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You could talk about Nerf guns. You could talk about Happy Meals. You could talk about Hulk cans. One of the stupidest things ever created as far as I'm concerned. Or actually they're right next to Shopkins. I hate Shopkins. You want to talk about breeding children to become consumers? What else do Shopkins do? Give them their own little cart really early so they can learn to go spend money. One way or another. Sorry about the editorializing. You're going to choose one product aimed at kids. You're going to use the articles to evaluate that product so that in the end of the essay you have an evaluation of it. Obviously, this does mean you need to read the articles as soon as you can. I would encourage you to choose a product as soon as you can. And now you're going to go do a discussion post in which you talk about possible products. If you have any questions, email me.